You know, we've all been there. You're stuck in this endless loop of learning, right? You're just consuming and consuming information, but never actually taking that big leap. So today, we're going to talk about why so many of us know too much and do too little, and how we can finally break free.
Wow, what a way to kick things off. This quote, it just cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of having all the tools, all the knowledge in the world, but being completely frozen. You're just going through the motions. You look alive, but nothing real is actually happening. You're paralyzed by the very thing you think is your greatest weapon, your own mind. So, let's give this whole experience a name. We're calling it the cage of knowledge. And the person who's trapped inside, well, that's an archetype I think a lot of us are going to recognize. We call them the chronic studier.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're the perpetual student. Seriously, you've read every book. You've watched every YouTube tutorial on the subject. Your business plan? Oh, it is a masterpiece, detailed down to the very last cent. But that's where it stays. It's just a document. The launch date keeps getting pushed back because, I just need to do a little more research, or I'll just watch one more video.
So why? Why do we get stuck in this loop? It feels so illogical, but here's the thing. It's not just some flaw in your character. There is a real biological reason for it, and it's a powerful one. It's called the dopamine trap.
Yeah, this isn't on you. This is brain chemistry, pure and simple. Every single time you plan or research or map out a strategy, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. It's this planner's high that tricks you. It gives you the reward of accomplishment without you having to do any of the actual, messy, difficult work. And right here, this is the great divide. Look at the left side. You've got all those activities that give you that sweet dopamine hit, the feeling of progress. Now look at the right. This is what creates actual progress. See the difference? Everything on the right, building, shipping, failing, executing, it all involves risk. It involves making contact with reality. And, well, our brains often prefer the safe, predictable reward of just thinking about it.
Okay, so if our own biology is playing tricks on us, how in the world do we fight back? Well, the answer isn't some new productivity app. It's something much older, much more powerful. It's a concept called the spirit of execution.
And this spirit is perfectly captured in a Japanese term, Yamato Damashii. Now, in this context, it represents this incredibly powerful idea that action is sovereign. Action is king. It's about putting your duty to execute above your fleeting emotions, like motivation or fear. It's not about feeling ready, it's about doing what needs to be done, period. This quote just drives the point all the way home. All that information you've gathered, all those perfect plans you've made, they're lifeless. They're a corpse. The only thing that breathes life into them, that gives them a soul, is action.
Okay, so that's the philosophy, but how do we actually do this? How do we apply it? It all starts with taking what the source material here calls the uncomfortable first step.
Here it is. This is your practical guide to shattering that paralysis. First, and this is a big one, you've got to cut off the supply. Drop the theory. Stop looking for one more book, one more video. You already know enough. The real answers are waiting for you in the action. Second, force it. Don't wait to feel inspired. Pick one small thing that makes you feel a little uncomfortable and just do it, right now, even if it's messy. And third, and this is so important, you have to embrace the discomfort. The goal here is not a perfect outcome. The goal is to prove to yourself that you can act. That's the win.
Now, when you start doing this over and over again, something really fundamental starts to shift inside of you. You begin to operate by a whole new code, a new philosophy. You start to find what the source calls duty in the storm.
This right here, this is the core identity shift. You stop being a person who says, I know, and you become a person who says, I do. See, the I know person is always looking for a certainty that will never come. They're always waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. But the I do person, they create their own clarity through action. They operate based on duty, not feelings. They value execution above everything else.
And that brings us to the payoff line, the central idea of this whole explainer. Motivation is a feeling. It's completely unreliable. It will come and go. It will absolutely abandon you the second things get tough. But duty is different. Duty is a commitment. It's a principle you can lean on, especially when that storm hits.
So we're going to end with this question. Not what you know, not what you're planning, but what you will do. This is a direct challenge to you right now.
to step out of that cage of knowledge and take that one small, uncomfortable, imperfect step. So what is it? What is the one duty you will execute